What's up everyone, Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha on PlayStation 4. Yeah, it sucks that Xbox and PC players were left out of the alpha, but you know, Sony and Activision have a special relationship, so that's how it's gotta be, unfortunately. And I'm not much of a PlayStation player. I haven't touched my PS4 in like 2 years, so I actually had to dust up the old PlayStation, and I also had to use remote play to get this game working. I had to connect my Xbox Series X controller to a mobile phone in order to play the game because my DualShock has been busted for a long ass time and I didn't feel like paying $60 to replace it. So that's how I played COD Vanguard on PlayStation 4 with an Xbox Series X controller. And you guys know I was streaming the game a little while ago and I was bitching the entire time. I'm like, what the fuck? This game is lagging so bad. This game fucking sucks because it's lagging. And people in the chat were like, dude, I'm pretty sure it's you, not the game. And I'm like, fuck you, it's not me, it's the game. Like, it was pretty cringe. But it turned out, yeah, it was actually me. It had something to do with remote play, because I never have serious lag when I'm playing any game, but when I was streaming the Vanguard Alpha, it was an unplayable mess. It was running like a slideshow. It was awful. But sure enough, when I'm playing the game when I'm not streaming, it's not so laggy. The game actually ran pretty smooth. So my bad, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Made a total ass of myself during that stream. But without further ado, let's get into my review for the COD Vanguard Alpha. I think the best thing that came out of this alpha was definitely learning that doors are destructible. That was such a pain in the ass in Modern Warfare, where people would camp behind a door with a claymore, so if you open the door, you get blown up. And they could just keep the door shut because the door was not destructible. And it was a lot easier to camp in Modern Warfare because of the doors, and also because of the terrible map design where if you try to run around, you get shot from like 10 different directions. And we still don't know how the actual maps are going to play in Vanguard. The Champion Hill map is good, but we don't actually know how the real 6v6 maps are going to actually be like. We've heard that they're going to be 16 maps at launch, which sounds crazy. I imagine a lot of them are actually going to be remakes, but 16 6v6 maps at launch? I don't think there's ever been a COD game that's had that many maps at launch. So if it's true, that's actually really impressive. But yeah, this game is pretty much a World War II reskin of Modern Warfare 2019. I know it's kind of like an oversimplification of the game. It does have a lot of unique features that were not in Modern Warfare, like the whole Champion Hill game mode and buying upgrades and everything, like, while you're in the game. Like, it definitely has a lot of different things that sets us apart from Modern Warfare. But as far as, like, the core gameplay goes, you have the weapon mounting, you have tactical sprint, you have doors, which are destructible, but you still have doors. And the game is on the Modern Warfare engine, which I personally think is a really smart move on behalf of Activision, because it's easier to integrate with Warzone if you're running the same engine, and it won't be as awkward as Cold War, where it was a completely different engine, and the integration just sucked. But I feel like the integration with Vanguard to Warzone will be a lot more smooth because it's so easy to port the weapons in Vanguard to Warzone because it's literally the same exact engine. You know, and some people might like that, some people might hate that. That depends on what you thought about Modern Warfare 2019, but most of the gameplay mechanics are carried over from Modern Warfare into Vanguard, and the gameplay is pretty much identical. So keep that in mind. Also, I can't tell if there's skill-based matchmaking in the alpha because my team pretty much dominated all the other teams in this gameplay. Like, it was pretty bad. And I am using the same Activision account as I used when I was playing Modern Warfare and Cold War and all those other games, so they definitely have my stats. They definitely could do skill-based matchmaking if they wanted to, because I do know your stats definitely carry over between games. But it was pretty crazy. I was playing with a random, and we didn't have our mics or anything, and we actually had pretty good chemistry during this game. I didn't expect that. Usually when you're playing with a random in a 2v2, it doesn't end very well, but this was actually pretty fun. I definitely still would have preferred Team Deathmatch or Domination being in the alpha, just because I would be able to have a better feel of what the game's actually going to be like, because this is just a side mode. This is not the main mode in Vanguard. Obviously, everyone's going to be playing Team Deathmatch. They're going to be playing Battle Royale. I don't know if we're going to get anything else besides Champion Hill, like if they're going to do another war mode like they did in World War II, or Ground War like Modern Warfare. I have no idea. But as far as Champion Hill goes, it's actually pretty fun. It's more fun than I thought I was going to have, honestly. Again, it's hard to judge the game as a whole, because Champion Hill is all we got to see. We didn't get to see the entire experience yet. I'm sure we're going to get Team Deathmatch and all that in the open beta. But I would say the best way to describe Champion Hill is 2v2 gunfight on steroids. And if you loved gunfight, you're definitely going to love this. So the way it works is that it's 8 teams of 2, so 16 players total. I think there's also a 3v3 mode that they advertised, but it's not in the alpha so far. I'm not sure if that's going to come tomorrow or if it's just going to be in the beta or the final release. But for now, the alpha is only 2v2. And I thought it was pretty cool what they did where they have the 8 teams. It's round-based and you'll be facing a different team each round. And the way that you eliminate the other team is by having more lives than the opposing team before the time limit is up. And you obviously lose a life when you die. And you gain lives by getting kills. So what ended up happening with me and my teammate is that at first we weren't doing so well. We were dying a lot and our lives were very low. But in the later rounds, we did better. We didn't die so much and we got a lot of kills. So we were able to get those lives back. So by the final round, and yeah, my teammate and I made it to the finals, we had a lot more lives than the enemy team. I think it was like 7 lives, and the other team that we faced in the final round only had 3. They were a really good team though, and they held their own, so mad respect. But yeah, and then you also earn money during the rounds, which you can use to buy weapons and upgrades for your weapons, streaks, perks, all these different things. I think Champion Hill has an excellent progression system that feels very rewarding. And if I'm going to be honest, I think Sledgehammer did an amazing job with this game mode. I go as far as to say that I had more fun playing Champion Hill than I did playing Modern Warfare Gunfight. And Modern Warfare Gunfight was great, don't get me wrong. But yeah, for all the people that criticize me for always being negative and never having anything nice to say about Call of Duty, there you go. I really enjoyed Champion Hill. Now, that being said, just because I enjoyed the alpha doesn't mean I'm going to be rushing to pre-order the game. I already told you guys, if COD Vanguard has the same awful SBMM as it did in Cold War and Modern Warfare, which I still don't know if it does, it's hard to tell. I mean, because Champion Hill is a very sweaty game mode naturally, so it's hard to tell if there's actual SBMM. The jury's still out on that, but if it is in the game, then I'm gonna boycott. I'm sorry, but I just have to do that. I don't care if the zombies are great. I don't care if Champion Hill is great. The regular multiplayer is going to suck ass if SBMM is in it, just like it was in the last 2 games. So, yeah, no, not going to buy it. But if there's no skill-based matchmaking, or at least if it's not as strict as it's been in Cold War Modern Warfare, then I just might buy it, because the gunplay is actually really satisfying. I love how the weapons feel, even though it is the same game as Modern Warfare, pretty much. And I didn't really like Modern Warfare, but the gunplay wasn't the huge problem with Modern Warfare, to be honest. It was the map design, it was the doors, and how those work. They're, definitely a lot better in Vanguard since they're destructible, which is a pretty good sign that they're at least making improvements upon Modern Warfare, but we don't really know yet how the actual multiplayer is going to be. Not yet, at least. We'll definitely have a better idea when the beta is released, and everybody gets to play it. Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. It won't just be a PlayStation exclusive. And yeah, whenever I play a World War II Call of Duty game, whether it be World at War, COD World War II, the STG is always my favorite gun to use, and that has not changed at all in COD Vanguard. I fucking love the STG. I like all the weapons. All the weapons that I've tried so far are pretty fun. The LMGs are good, the assault rifles are good. I don't know much about sniper rifles because I'm not much of a sniper, to be honest, but the weapon design and core gunplay is actually really, really good. It definitely plays a lot more like Modern Warfare than COD World War II, but I think it was well done. And what's really impressive is how well the game runs on the PlayStation 4, which I guess shouldn't be too much of a shock because it does run on the Modern Warfare engine, which ran pretty well on the PS4 and Xbox One. But yeah, it actually runs really well on a last-gen system. So if you're kind of nervous, because I know Cold War had a lot of performance issues on a base model PS4, I mean, at least based on the alpha, Vanguard's butter smooth on a base model PS4. Never mind the PS4 Pro or PlayStation 5. This is PS4 gameplay. To me, the graphics and performance are very impressive for a last-gen system. Now, if I had a hunch, I would probably say this is going to be the last Call of Duty game that you'll ever get on the PS4 and Xbox One, because at least with the last generation, they gave us 2 games and then kind of moved on to the 8th generation from the 7th gen. We had Ghosts and Advanced Warfare, but then Call of Duty became an 8th gen exclusive. It was no longer supported on PS3 and 360. And no, I'm not going to count the PS3 and 360 version of Black Ops 3 because that port was so awful, it was better off just not happening. But yeah, do the math. Cold War was cross-gen. This game's going to be cross-gen. That's 2 games. I doubt next year's game, Modern Warfare 2, is also going to be on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I think it's going to be a next-gen exclusive. So hopefully this generation of COD goes out with a bang. But only time can tell how the actual game is going to turn out. Hopefully better than Cold War. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha. There's not much to say because it is just one game mode, and it's not even like a fraction of what the full game is going to be, so I can't make too many judgments on what Vanguard's going to be like. But what I will say is that the weapons feel great, the gunplay is tight, and the Champion Hill mode is a lot of fun. It's actually pretty exhilarating when you're in these really tough gunfights, and there's a lot at stake when you have limited lives. And out of the 8 teams in the match, only 1 can win. So it's way more intense than your typical TDM or domination match. And there's actually a lot at stake because you don't want to lose lives and you don't want to get eliminated from the match. It's honestly a lot like Battle Royale, but on a smaller scale and more organized. Like, it's not 100 players at once, but It does have a few Battle Royale vibes, kind of like Fireteam did, but this is obviously not as big as Fireteam. But yeah, those are my impressions so far. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about COD Vanguard and the Vanguard Alpha? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you kind of indifferent? Or are you pissed off because you didn't get to play it because you're not on PlayStation? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.